end of often season 2 of a show to have, the main two characters kiss. I'm just saying. It happens all the time. Like literally, it's always. Just saying. Just saying. And I think that John and Josh will kiss. I mean, what? No. But there is a thing of like you want, to sort of protract the things that are sort of working. So I think in terms of the mystique of this character, we're going to try and make it as long as possible, but it will happen for sure.
Sir.
Yes, I was just curious, I guess it's to everyone, specifically JJ. On the show, are you going to have an expanded universe if it's successful that, like you did on Lost, that includes a lot of the, auxiliary information?
Yeah, we're already doing that now, a little bit, and the fun of that again is for people who are, kind of insane like us who want to actually follow that stuff. But you have to understand and assume that the majority of the audience doesn't tune in because of that stuff, so it'll be there if you want it, but it's not there as required reading.
JJ, up until now, I think I may be wrong on this, but up until now you've had a good luck charm in all of your pilots. A gentleman by the name of Greg Rodberg.
Yes.
That was easy. He was not in the pilot for Fringe, was he?
Well, look, the truth is that despite Greg's presence in my shows, they've worked. No, I'm kidding. So, Greg is my best friend. I met Greg in kindergarten, and we were like Indian guys together. And I have these absolutely embarrassing pictures of us, eating s'mores and, making rock and feather characters. Let's look at it.
Oh my God.
And,
Greg
Greg was not in this one, and in fact, he was supposed to play a role in Trek, and couldn't do it. But we're going to make sure that we get Greg in there for sure. And Greg is someone who obviously is now one of our heroes. So he's like way too famous.
All right. Did you have a question? Yes.
Before anything else, I wanted to say, Mr. John Noble, great job in The Lord of the Rings. My question is, since there are already a lot of comparisons to the X-Files and the Twilight Zone, how do you keep the show original for the actors as well? How do you avoid being compared to Mulder and Scully?
Change the name. With the creative team that's working behind this, I don't think it can help but be original. And I'm not saying that because they're sitting here. The ideas are fun. We respect X-Files so much. We're not the least bit upset about being compared to it, but the differences are profound. I mean, the way that these characters will be developed. So compare us if you will, but I think that you'll find that the creative. I mean, I just talk to these writers, and I'm boggled by the ideas that they're still throwing out already. And it's so exciting for us, when we wait to get the script for the next episode, as we are now, when we start shooting on Thursday. Jeffrey?
Thanks, John.
Yes. It's so exciting. You read it up, and it's like reading a fantasy novel. And oh my God, the things that happen in it. So that's happening to us. You can imagine that we're not going to get jaded with it, I hope. And I think the originality will keep coming. And as I say, long live X-Files, and we'll live in the same universe as them, but we won't be compared, I don't think.
I just like reaching my hand.
Should have said that. Great mind.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. Abrams. Fringe seems like a really big project, and so I was wondering if you would anytime in the near future have time to work on a possible sequel to Cloverfield.
We have something we're playing with right now that may or may not happen. But Cloverfield was directed by Matt Reeves, who I created Felicity with, who's an amazing director, and written by Drew Goddard, who's a genius. And the idea of working with those guys again, Bryan and I really want to do that. So there's an idea that we have that sort of plays with. It's not a literal sequel, but there's something that we're working on, and if it is anything interesting, I will let you know.
Alex and Roberto, since we're on the subject of sequels, anything that you can sort of maybe openly break a little news about Transformers 2? What you can say? Get a little hint, some news. There are lots of journalists in this room and bloggers. They're waiting for news.
Like giant robots, you're gonna love to.
That's actually the ad campaign.
You know, we actually were concerned about jumping into the sequel early on because we did not have, you know, everyone after the movie came out was like, oh, well, there has to be a sequel, and it's a very scary place to be, I think, for us, because when if it's not coming from a really organic place where you have a reason to tell a story and you're really excited by it, then it's just not worth doing. So we kind of put it off for a while, and then, you know, as we tend to do, we're sitting around one day saying, what if? And then that kind of snowballed, and suddenly we had the reason to do it. And so we did it. And I think we're really excited about it. It's shooting right now. We were on set the other day. Got to see Bumblebee live, which was very exciting. But I think if you like the first movie, you're gonna find a lot more mythology in the second one. And if you haven't seen the first movie, I think you'll just jump right in, and it'll be a smooth transition.
And there'll be robots. I promised JJ I won't ask any Star Trek questions, but Bryan, any word on whether there might be another trailer for the movie next year?
Well, we've been working on a trailer. The reason why we didn't have a presence here this year for Star Trek is because, believe it or not, we don't have any visual effects done, and the trailer is filled with visual effects. And I think there's about like 5 shots that have like 80% of the visual effects done, and the rest of the movie, which is well over 1,000 shots, have nothing done yet. So every week we see a new version of it. It's like, oh, good, it's going to actually be in space.
There are all these scenes that happen, like, there are these scenes in these cards where it's like, insert really good, cool scene here. No. It's true that we, you know, in a movie like Star Trek, there are, you know, probably 1,300 visual effects shots, and we actually finaled 70 of them. I wish there were 70 that when you put in a trailer, you're like, oh, that makes sense, that's a trailer, but the order in which they get done has nothing to do with that. And the frustrating thing is that, like I said before, we're on the same schedule. Had we come out in December when, you know, we were hoping and wanted to come out originally, we would have scrambled to get all the trailers and stuff done, but because it's not coming out now until, you know, May, it's just that the idea is not to, you know, put this thing out there as if it were coming out in December, because you have to pace yourself in a way. So I am dying to show you this movie. I love this movie. I love the actors are so good. The script was amazing. Alex Cobb wrote. It's one of these things that, despite the effects not working, because you know the original show wasn't about the effects. It was about the relationships, the dynamic of the characters. The reason that I know the movie's working, and I don't want to jinx anything, but it's like when I watch it, the reason I know it's working is you care about the story, the people. It makes you feel. It's funny. It's scary. It's all these things that we'd hoped originally, and they're walking around and there's nothing out the view screen, you know, or they're walking around and there's a big thing of green right there, you know, but it's working because the actors are so good too. So I'm dying to show you, and I'm sorry that the strategy of with Paramount not being here precludes us from being able to present to you something that, if I were you guys, and I feel like I am, I would, I really want to see. So it'll be soon, so I apologize.
However, you're staying in room 218 at the Marriott. If anyone else can come by private, I'm going to be killed after this. Young lady, please.
We have time for about maybe 1 or 2 more questions.
For the writers, which TV shows you watched as kids or influential?
Twin Peaks was a big one for me. And Twilight Zone for sure.
I like The Equalizer.
Scooby-Doo.
Bryan?
All in the Family. And I'm a big fan of South Park now.
Next. Sorry.
Mary Tyler Moore Show?
I love the Mary Tyler Moore. I was actually going to say Mary Tyler Moore Show. It's the greatest. It was such a good show. And the Twilight Zone, which they could be combined. They're really weird. It's like Mary Lou.
You're not involved in that rumored yet another remake of the Twilight Zone. You're not involved in that, are you?
I'm not. No, but I saw that as well.
Yes. Last question.
JJ, will your mystery box from your TED Talk appear in Fringe?
For everyone who doesn't know what that means,